Hello, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with over 30,000 clients worldwide and 40 years experience in the business. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this video on ending shame. Look, this is an energy which is just so powerful and potent in everyone's life. And being an astrologer, I'm dealing with people who are having problems with their self-image, problems with their level of self-esteem, and I'm dealing with people who have been abused as a child, and boys who have been abused as a child, women who have been abused as a child, and there's just so much there in our being which is shame-based. And shame is an energy which is designed to be a positive influence in our life. Shame is designed for us in our infancy and in our childhood and in our adolescence to help us to develop remorse, to be able to feel a sense of shame for things that we've done, things that we've said, and things that we have done to others, harm that we've done to others, and to feel remorse for that. And in that remorse, to be able to bring about changes within ourselves in terms of our behaviour. So shame is designed as a positive influence. It is a real emotion. It does have a positive attribute. Quite often shame is tied in with the sexuality of us as male and as female, sexuality that we're exploring in our childhood and in our adolescence. And that shame can become very powerful and very real in our lives. We also develop shame in our adolescence and also in our young adulthood and so forth in terms of relationships that break up. We feel a sense of shame there because that relationship broke up. We feel a sense of shame because we lost our job. We feel a sense of shame because we were rejected by somebody in a relationship. We feel a sense of shame because of things that we've done to hurt other people and been selfish in our nature. So there's so many different facets of shame. But shame can get to a point where it's not constructive and doesn't lead anymore to remorse, and thereby change within ourselves. And compassion also is a part of remorse. To have compassion for the weaknesses and faults of others, and to realise that everybody has these things going on in their lives. But when shame becomes a very destructive energy is when we become a shame-based person. When we become a shame-based person, we are not allowed to make mistakes. We are a mistake. You have a feeling as if you can't be forgiven. You have a feeling inside of yourself that you are unforgivable, not only for what you've done, but for who you are. Your sense of your being is shame-based. Many people go on to commit suicide and other forms of self-destructive patterns of behaviour under the influence of being shame-based. So it's an energy that all of us are dealing with and all of us are experiencing in our childhood, in our adolescence, in our young adulthood and in our adulthood. So it's no longer an energy or an emotion that can be just shoved under the carpet, swept under the carpet. It's something that we have to bring out and to learn about and to transform that energy. When we are shame-based, we will not allow the techniques that we can employ to bring about forgiveness. We will not allow that technique to work. We feel unprepared in life when we are shame-based for the exigencies of life and the experiences of life. We feel isolated. We feel abandoned by our fellow man. We develop the attitude that I want to get through life as best I can through my various addictions, with the aid of my many addictions as an escape from reality. Nothing changes inside of ourselves when we feel shame-based. We hear about principles and values, and we hear about these principles of honesty and integrity and trust and intimacy and caring and sharing and giving and so forth, and reliability and trustworthiness. We hear about these principles and we realize that these principles are the things that lead to character. Character is the frequency with which we apply our principles. But principles are alien and foreign to a shame-based person. Character is alien and foreign to a shame-based person. Shame is a very destructive energy that cuts you off from your spirituality, from your growth, from your development, from your aspiration towards the divine and towards your higher self and towards your future self. You can go through the motions, you can do the meditations, you can attend the meetings, you can attend the workshops, but it's all only a charade. It feels to you that I don't change. It doesn't work for me. The meditation is only a ritual. It's not an experience. You say to yourself, I'll read the books and I'll do the meditations, I'll attend the workshops, I'll attend the intensives, I'll play the game, but it won't work for me because I'm not lovable. I'm a reject of society. Now this is a very real energy that all of us are dealing with at some stage in our growth and development in life. And when we are shame-based, we have a negative shield that stands in the way of everything that we can be and everything that we can have. It stands in the way of success. It stands in the way of happiness. It stands in the way of joy. It stands in the way of the wonder and the beauty and the magnificence of life. There are a number of components to this shield, this negative shield. The first component is the refusal to be loved, the refusal to let love in, because you feel as if you are unlovable. You say inside of your own mind and inside of your own heart, you don't know my secrets, and worse, you don't know my shame. So you'll go out on dates, you'll go out and form relationships, but you won't let the love in. And ultimately, the relationship becomes a sham because you won't allow yourself to be loved. And if that person says, I love you, you say inside of yourself, I know that I'm unlovable, so you can't possibly love me, so therefore what do you want? You must want something. The second aspect of this shield, this negative shield, is self-punishment. You won't allow the success to come into your life. You were taught as a child that when you are naughty you need to be punished. Go and stand in the corner. Go without your dinner tonight. Go to bed early, and so forth. So you feel as if the only way to handle this shame is by punishing yourself. So any form of success, whether it's in the financial arena, whether it's in communication with relatives and neighbours, whether it's in the domestic and home environment, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in the social side of your life, whether it's in the job, whether it's in intimates and close ones. You won't allow in that success as a form of righting the wrongs that you feel that you are. These are all extreme things, of course, for those who are shame-based. Not necessarily do you have this level of shame there within yourself, but you know how it feels. You understand and you have empathy for the way that this energy works. It's a real emotion. It does have a positive attribute. The third component of this negative shield is self-sabotage. You're on the verge of having a wonderful success in your life. You've got the interview the next day, but that night you can't sleep. And you go there into the interview and you make a big mess of it. You go out on that date that you've been looking forward to, but what happens is you spill the spaghetti sauce all over your blouse or all over your shirt. Everything is going along smoothly in the relationship, and then all of a sudden you have this big argument. Self-sabotage. Sabotaging yourself when you're on the verge of success in any area of your life, whether it's financial or communications or belonging needs or the loving needs and the fulfilling yourself through service, through the job. The fourth component of this negative shield are your various addictions. Addictions to drugs, addictions to alcohol, addictions to cigarettes, addictions to food that's no good for you, addictions to patterns of behaviour that you really should have outgrown and that you have become enamoured with. The fifth component of this negative shield is guilt. Guilt is not a real emotion. It only has a negative attribute, a negative impact. It has no positive equivalent. Guilt is anger that you don't feel that you have a right to express, or that you're going to get into trouble for expressing. And instead of expressing the anger and getting it out, you're angry with yourself because you are shame-based. You stuff that anger inside of yourself and it putrefies and rots inside of yourself and turns into guilt. Suppressed anger in the form of guilt is one of the major causes of cancer and diabetes and heart disease in the world. The sixth component of this negative shield of shame is deservability. You feel as if you don't deserve to have all of the good things in life. You feel as if you don't deserve to be loved. You don't deserve to have success in the job. You don't deserve financial abundance. You don't deserve, because of who you are and things that you've done, you are shame-based, and you don't deserve, therefore, to even exist. You don't have a right to exist. That's the feeling that shame can bring about within the shame-based person. All of these components of this negative shield cut you off from all of the wonders and the beauty of life. It cuts you off from the greatest source of love, your higher self, that aspect of God and Goddess that you are becoming. It cuts you off from God and Goddess. It cuts you off from your spirituality. Your spirituality is your living, loving, breathing relationship with God, Goddess, all that is. They love you and they know your name. It cuts you off from the wonders and the magnificence of the science of meditation, and your capacity to get down there into meditation, into your safe place, and to transform these negative attitudes and beliefs and these addictive patterns of behaviour, these negative thoughts and feelings, to be able to transform them into positive equivalents. It cuts you off from that ability to focus and to concentrate, because you don't feel as if you deserve. You don't feel as if you're lovable. In short, you feel as if you don't have a right to exist. It cuts you off from the success that can come to you in life. It cuts you off from the joy. It cuts you off from the wonder. It cuts you off from the awe and the wonder of life and the happiness that should come to you in life. It cuts you off from your confidence, your self-confidence. It cuts you off from your self-love, and it cuts you off from your self-esteem. So this is what we're all dealing with to a relative degree, depending on how impacted you were in your childhood by shame and in your adolescent years by shame. And the way to get around this is to understand that you are a piece of God and Goddess, that you have inside of yourself all of the properties, all of the qualities and all of the powers of God and Goddess inside of yourself now. Your task is to recognize that fact and unfold those powers, to realize that you are a spiritual leader, that you are a map maker, that you are a person who has come into life and taken on these astrological configurations in your horoscope that have developed this shame in your life, this shame in your childhood, this shame in your adolescent years, this shame in your young adulthood, this shame in your adulthood. You have taken on this energy because you wanted to have compassion. You wanted to have a sense of remorse early in life. And that was a healthy thing to have. To develop compassion for the weaknesses and faults of other people. And you have taken all of this on board, specifically for the purposes of being able to rise above this shame, this fear, this anxiety, this doubt, these addictive patterns of behaviour, these drugs, this alcohol, this feeling of not deserving, this feeling of not being lovable, this feeling of not having a right to exist. You have taken all of that on purposely so that you can rise above all of this, and you can then, through that victory, make the maps for others to follow. The way we make the maps in the New Age is not by teaching others on street corners and cramming stuff down their throat that they don't want to know about, and more importantly, that they're not ready to know about. The way we help others and make the maps in the New Age is by bringing about change within ourselves. So you've taken on this bundle of energy called shame, perhaps to relative degrees, in order to be able to bring about the overcoming of this and the winning of this battle within yourself. And you do so through the powers of the science of meditation. And to understand processing and programming, you can learn all of this through my intensives. There's plenty of other teachers there also who have got plenty of videos that can help you. So there's plenty there to be able to help you to become more of the giant that you truly are. And to understand that you are beautiful. You have a good deal of goodness, truth and beauty there inside of yourself. that this energy of shame is a depleting energy and a destructive energy and a self-sabotaging energy and an energy that is eating away at you inside. That you've taken it on purposely, and you have taken it on specifically for the purpose of rising above it through the science of meditation, through the science of processing and programming. And you bring about these changes within yourself through learning about the science of meditation, and by learning about the laws of astrology, and by learning about the law of reincarnation, and to understand that you are a powerful person, that you have a wonderful amount of power, strength and talent there within yourself that's wanting to get out. And the way to do this is through the experiences of life, but also through an intake of knowledge. And out of that, synergistically, the combination of an intake of knowledge and the experiences of life, synergistically comes wisdom. Wisdom is the whole that is greater than the sum of the parts. And so that wisdom is there for you to unfold when you start to realize that you are loved. You are loved by your higher self. You are loved by God and Goddess. They love you and know your name. They want to be your partner. They want to help you to become more of the giant that you truly are. So it's time now to get stuck into my intensives, or get stuck into any material that you find to be uplifting and purifying and transforming and spiritualizing and inspirational, so that you can learn and take in that knowledge. You've had the experiences in life, now it's time to take in the knowledge, and from those combination of those two comes out of it wisdom. And wisdom brings freedom. Freedom to understand and freedom to live the life that you are meant to live in this incarnation. As a map maker, as a person who is making the maps for others to follow all over the world, millions of people that you will never meet, who are being inspired by the changes that you bring about within yourself. And through that radiant energy, that resonant vibrational frequency that radiates out there into the world from your inner being, you inspire others to become more of the giant that they truly are. This is the way that it all works in the new age. And so I thank you for your attentiveness here, and look forward to working further with you as you get your horoscope number 2 done by me perhaps. And that will help you to understand all the tests that you've set up for yourself in this lifetime. And you can win yourself a free horoscope number 2 simply by listening to one of my CDs, and then reporting back to me that you've heard that CD, and then you will have a free horoscope number 2, which is a beautiful 20-page analysis of your individual horoscope, not a generic thing for your sun sign. And you can then go on and have your horoscope number 3 done, which will tell you all about your tests that you have in your life, from the aspects and relationships between the planets and what's coming up in the future, what's happened in the past, so that you can see how true it is and how valid it is. Anyway, I've spoken enough here. I think that you've got the idea of what I'm talking about here. So let's all work together as a team, and let's help you to become more of the giant that you truly are. I thank you for your attentiveness here, and look forward to working further with you should you decide to have your horoscope done by me free of charge. Thank you.